Hey folks, and welcome to Drinking Alone with Friends, a podcast where three friends drink alone together. My name's Chris.
What up? It's Tud.
And I'm Obert. How's it going, guys? It's been a minute.
I mean,
Yeah.
It hasn't been that long since I've seen each of you. I feel like it's been a long time since you guys have seen each other.
He was talking.
Tud's the common link here.
He was talking directly.
Yeah.
He was talking directly to me. That's what that was. Why is my mom calling? Oh, I think okay. That was a. Never mind. Sorry.
She knew you were recording. She had to call.
Yeah, she had to call right at the beginning.
She wanted to be on the podcast.
Well, I got to ask the question that the audience has been dying to know the answer of, and that is, how was the barbecue?
Oh.
Yeah, Tud, we gotta. I'll let Tud go because he's the out of towner.
So it was pretty good. All barbecue is pork, as I think we already discussed that on the podcast. What they call in North Carolina barbecue is pulled pork. That's it. I don't know why. Why don't they just call it pulled pork? Don't know, but they call that barbecue. The festival was. How do I explain this for our listeners? For our northeastern listeners, it's like the Big E, except for it's a one-day event that happens in Chris's town, with a whole bunch of shops and vendors that go on for, Chris, what would you say, about a mile and a half?
Yeah, it was a good stretch of downtown.
So like they shut down like this one road in downtown plus a few side streets, and these vendors come on one giant road and they set up in the middle of the road, and you walk up one side and walk down the other side, and there's food vendors and not just barbecue. There was, you name it, they were selling it. And then the barbecue was literally just, couple stations that they had on the road where you could buy pulled pork sandwiches. You could either order it with red slaw or not red slaw, and then you could also get hot dogs. So that was...
So you... Kind of like what Chris was implying before we got this whole conversation, is like, if you're going to get the barbecue here, it's going to be North Carolina style. Like, that's the only thing you're going to see on the menus.
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that was... I mean, they made sure of that. Like, that was the barbecue. Now, afterwards, we went to another barbecue restaurant after we went to the barbecue food festival, and we got more barbecue. and at place...
We pre-gamed. We pre-gamed dinner.
With barbecue. As you do.
Barbecue. Yeah.
When we went to that barbecue restaurant, they served, pulled pork, brisket, turkey, burnt end. Like, they served it all. They served the whole smorgasbord.
More Chris's style,
Well, exactly as you would expect from a barbecue food restaurant. But yeah, the barbecue festival was only pulled pork. Like, I don't think there was another person there, Chris, selling anything other than pulled pork. I think the only place that was actually selling quote unquote barbecue were like the festivals, like pulled pork sandwich shops. I don't think anyone else was doing it.
No, yeah, that was pretty much it. And then they, like Tud said, there was like a million vendors. There was so many vendors, and but it was packed. And I saw people writing online or whatever. Like, apparently it was like a down year, so like I can't even imagine like what it would be like on a up year. But it was cool. The kids, we brought the kids and they played. They have like a kiddie playground thing that they literally spent 4 hours on. Like, the whole time we were there, they were just bouncing and going down slides and all that stuff. So they really
screwed us by putting that by the entrance. Once we walked in, it was over. Yeah,
we walked in, and that's the first thing they saw was the inflatables, and it's all over. There's no getting past that. So, but I mean, it was cool. It was cool. I kind of wish there was like more. Like, I expected, like, you think the barbecue festival, there was like 2 tents, or they were big tents selling barbecue. I feel like it should be more.
So it's like it bills itself as the largest barbecue festival in the world, right? Or whatever it was, and it's really that might be the biggest festival where it is a celebration of barbecue, but it doesn't sound like it would be like the biggest festival with the most barbecue in the world.
Right?
Perhaps.
Yeah. Agreed. I think one, a few critiques, if I may. You could only buy beer in designated tents, which was interesting, and they were not near the barbecue tents.
No, so they were like down the hill. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think we never got drinks there, but I'm pretty sure that if we wanted to buy the drink, we had to stay within the tent with said drink. too. Like, I don't think it was like you could take the beer out and walk around with it.
Yeah,
I know if 2/3 of our podcast shows up at a festival and doesn't buy any beer, then that says something about the availability of the beer.
Well, then I should point out that Chris and I had stayed up till 5:30 in the morning that morning drinking after the Goose show. So we were tired.
Yeah, that was actually, I was like thinking about it. I was like, I have not had a beer since Tud left.
And
that was how many days ago?
2 weeks. I don't know, 100 years. I can't even remember anymore, honestly. But no, it was good. I'm glad we went. It was cool. It was also, I mean, I don't know if I'd go again personally.
Oh, see, I was gonna say I would go again.
You would go again?
Yeah, I liked all
the children are gonna let you not go.
My kids are gonna go again for sure. I
thought it was a lot of fun.
Yeah. But I mean, maybe we did. We went out every night. I think that adds up. We went to Goose. So I finally saw Goose live. For all you fellow breadheads out there. They were very good live. If you Tud won't lead you astray. I made friends. I made a lot of friends. I actually had a few.
You did.
I made a lot of friends there. I don't even know how.
I should have pre-warned Chris to not talk to the hippie chicks, but Chris learned the hard way. You do not talk to the hippie chicks.
There was a lot of them when they liked me. So, but yeah. So it was put on a great show. It was a lot of fun, and then we stayed out until 2 a.m. 2 a.m. I think we got the.
I bought Chris a hot dog.
Oh, he bought leaving the bar at 2 a.m. There's a hot dog cart. Now I had already ordered the lift and so we're waiting, and it said 10 minutes or something. Now for some reason you would think a hot dog cart a minute per transaction, 90 seconds maybe. This dude is slowest hot dog maker in the world.
It's 2 a.m. He doesn't have a lot of competition.
That's true.
And the two girls in front of us ordered 6 hot dogs, and they were skinny 22-year-old girls ordering up 6 hot dogs, fully loaded with everything.
Yeah. So we were in line behind these two skinny chicks, and I all of a sudden I look down and it's your driver's 3 minutes away, and I was like, oh fuck, and I was like, well, fuck it. I was like, don't bother. I don't want a hot dog. Tud stayed. He bought me a hot dog anyway, and then I'm waiting on the road, and he's probably 15, 20 feet away, and he goes, oh, catch, and he throws the hot dog 30 feet in the air. It comes apart, falls in the middle of the road. So I picked it up and I threw it in the trash can that was right there. He's like, "You didn't even."
It's not my fault that Chris didn't catch the hot dog.
It kind of was. Listen, I'm not. I am the stereotypical white man can't jump. So
I do. I love the idea that the race against the lift, right? It's every second counts. We're waiting for these girls to get out of line. We're waiting for this guy to make this slow ass hot dog. Finally gets there. We can't afford the time it would take Tud to sprint over to Chris. This has to be a throw to get the hot dog eaten and just completely on the ground in pieces.
Yep. That's exactly what happened. The 30 feet apart that we were was too far for us to cover. In order for there was a whole barrier in the way. There was a lot.
Yeah. So
R.I.P. that hot dog.
Yeah, R.I.P. that hot dog. No fun, but it was a good visit.
Oh, and I should say that the barbecue food festival. After you walk down this 1.5 miles on the road, at the end of the road is an Arby's. So the whole barbecue food festival leads up to an Arby's front door.
Yeah. Yeah, there's an Arby's there. Good old Arbs.
But they were not participating in the barbecue food festival, unfortunately.
They were not.
That Arby's, oddly enough, only sold Carolina-style barbecue. No beef at this Arby's. Just pork.
I don't think anybody in the state of North Carolina eats beef. It's all pork.
We do love our pigs down here.
Well, all this barbecue talk sure has got me thirsty. Well, Chris, you sound the thirstiest because you said you haven't drank in 2 weeks.
That's okay. Yeah, that's a good one. So yeah, let me grab something. All right, so I have something a little different today. I've actually been holding on to this beer for a minute, and it comes at the not request, the recommendation of an old coworker of mine. He knows I'm a beer guy, so he would always come up to me and talk to me about his favorite beers and stuff like that. And this was one that he put over so many times that I saw it in Total Wine a while ago, and I had to pick it up. And it's an English pale ale called Old Speckled Hen. Have you guys seen or heard of this?
I think I have.
Okay, yeah, it's like a classic, but I don't think I've ever had it.
He swears by it. He says it's his favorite beer. He says it's better on draft, admittedly, which this is not. But every time I would talk to him, he'd be like, "Oh, have you tried it yet?" I told him I bought the bottle, and then he would be like, "Oh, have you tried it yet?" I was like, "No, not yet." So, waiting for an occasion, and what a better occasion than right now when I bought a beer that I thought I didn't have already. But yeah, it comes in it's from the UK, 4.8% ABV, and distinctive English pale ale. So we're going to check this thing out. Oh,
looks very dark.
It does look very dark. It is very dark.
Kind of red too.
Yeah, a little bit. So there it is. Yeah, a little on the red side, but way darker than I would have expected from a pale ale. Excuse me, UK. And it's clear. I can see right through it. I'm assuming I have a new phone, guys, so this might be a high-powered flashlight. So let's see.
Oh, our calibration on our T-Rex test is all off.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I should say Chris ordered a new phone while I was drunk in North Carolina with him.
That's true. Well, I'm happy about that.
10 minutes after the hot dog.
No. A whole day before. No. I was only in town for about 35 seconds, and he was ordering a new phone. He was like, "Tud's here, time to order a new phone."
I wanted.
And you were already drunk?
We were at a brewery. We were doing Lord of the Rings trivia.
Yeah, we were at the second brewery of the day.
Yeah.
See, you really need the third co-host if you're doing Lord of the Rings trivia.
Yeah,
we didn't come in last.
We didn't come in last.
Okay.
And I think I answered one or two. So
yeah, Ober, I could have used your help. I think you and I could have done really well. What I knew. I feel like what I didn't know, I didn't know.
Lord of the Rings is one of those things that Chris has either seen it 0 or 15 times, and I'm not sure what the answer is.
I think I've seen the answer is 0 once. I've seen the movies exactly once, but not The Hobbit, which he was in The Hobbit. So
that implies you've read the books multiple times, though.
No, I've not read the books. We actually talked about that.
Okay.
Now that I have an hour and some odd minute drive to work, I'm gonna have to add them to my audiobook list. So
yeah, he will much enjoy that if you can back me up on that, Obert, right? He's gonna love them.
Oh yeah.
So I'll look him up. I'm gonna be ordering a new car and audiobooks by the end of this podcast. But anyways, so Old Speckled Hen, a distinctive English pale ale. Not so pale, but let's see how it tastes. T-Rex will get you, by the way. Definitely has like that English stuff, like that. I don't know how to explain it, but like every time I have like an ESB, like that kind of smell to it, like it gives me that kind of vibes. Okay, it's good. It definitely. So number one, it's light, very light. It doesn't weigh down your tongue at all. So smooth drinker, definitely more malty than hoppy, which I think is kind of a standard when you're talking about like these older style English beers. It's good. It may be a little bit of a hop bite on the very back end, but nothing crazy. I definitely wouldn't consider this hoppy. Very easy drinker, and it's good. I don't know if I like it better than like an ESB or something along those lines. I've also had it for a while, so maybe that could affect it a little bit. But I can see someone really enjoying this. Like if you're like maybe like not like a Bud Heavy or like a Coors Banquet drinker, and you want to like expand a little bit, like this wouldn't turn anybody off. I don't think. I think this will be right up their alley. It's not my favorite type, but it's not bad. Definitely isn't my favorite beer of all time. But it's good. I don't really have a distinctive and delicious toffee malt character. Okay, I can see that. I can see that. Or taste that, I guess.
Would you drink a whole 6-pack of these?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I definitely would. I only have the single, but if I bought a 6-pack and I had this, I was like, oh, okay, I know what I'm in for. Maybe like on the back end, it's giving me like slightly like a Belgian-y vibe too. So like it's a bit weird. But it's not bad. Not bad. Maybe it would be better on tap, but I'm gonna give this my rating. I'm gonna give it a 3. So we're gonna we're gonna give it a 3.
So you drink it again, but not intentionally.
Yeah. Like if I maybe I'd get it in like a flight if I saw it somewhere because it was hyped up on tap. So maybe I would if I saw it on tap somewhere. But I won't go buy another bottle if that makes
Yeah.
If someone was like, here, have a beer, and they handed me this, I'd be like, oh, cool. Thanks for the beer.
Now, I don't want to put words in your mouth, but correct me if I'm wrong. I'm picking up that this is kind of a boring beer.
Yeah, a little bit. There's probably more character to it than like I'm giving it credit for, but yeah, it definitely doesn't wow me in many ways. It does have like a decent flavor profile in the middle and towards the end, but like it's not your Bud Heavy Coors Banquet, but like I would kind of group them. They're like, this is like the step up. This is like your this is like your gateway beer to other beers, I guess. Slightly different, but still got some similarities.
If you were in a craft beer but born in the decade 1970.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, definitely not bad. Maybe a little boring.
So obviously a very low checked in beer on Untapped.
Really?
Yeah, oh yeah, completely. So out of 164,911 check-ins, that low number, what do you think it was rated?
Oh geez. I have no idea. I can see people 160. I guess that makes sense. It's like weird that we haven't had it. I'm gonna go. I have no idea. I'm gonna go 3.45.
So no, but you are close.
Okay.
3.37.
Okay, I'll take that.
That is closer than I would have gotten.
Yeah, I'll take that.
I think this is
on the board.
This is one of the lower Untapped rated beers that we've had with this many check-ins, which is interesting because like we're not used to this realm, right? I mean, it's
no, yeah, that's true. Yeah, no, it like thank you, Obert.
Like Vanna White herself.
Yep,
Obert White.
Yeah, it was what was it? 3.37?
Yeah.
All right, so not
That's
to
0.08.
Yeah, not to screw myself, but integrity of the whiteboard has to be maintained. Thank you. But yeah, that is very low. I mean, I guess I get it. I mean, I was lower than that too, so I guess I'm part of the problem. So.
Yeah, when you brought this beer, I was like, I didn't look it up on Untapped or whatever, but these just like generic European beers, I feel like are the hardest ones for us to get close.
Yeah,
on Untapped.
Yeah, for sure.
They're not, they're not the stellar close to 4 or above 4 beers.
Yeah, I immediately was like, I'm just gonna do 3.5, but then I wanted to be a little fancy. So, but anyways, this is gonna be gone in like 2 seconds. So who wants to get the next one?
I will go next. All right. So my beer this week is actually Obert's beer this week, and it's Lights On. A little story about this beer. So Obert came to visit me too. I went down to visit Chris, and then Obert came to visit me like a big triangle. So I think this means Chris has to go visit Obert. It's kind of how this triangle completes. But
I guess that's true. I didn't think about it, but yeah, that makes sense.
While Obert was here, he went to Treehouse, and then he decided that he needed to ship it all home, and it was a Sunday and the post office was closed. So he said, hey, good friend Tud, can you package all this beer for me, which there was a lot of, and ship it to my house, along with a bottle of bourbon.
Rum.
So I said, dearest friend Obert, got you, don't worry, we'll figure it out. Well, let me tell you, people, trying to package...
I will do you the solid. Yeah, I appreciate that.
Trying to package a bottle of bourbon or a bottle of rum in a box is a difficult endeavor, because it was a very big bottle of rum. I hope it makes it. That's all I'm going to say. It is very well wrapped and very well protected, but there's only so much I can do. So we can hope, we can pray.
Godspeed box. Let's see if we make it to Montana.
The unfortunate matter of this is that a lot of Obert's beer is in the same box as it because it was the largest box. So Obert may end up with like 10 of his case of beer versus most of the other rest of the case of beer.
That's okay. I mean, I'm looking at the forecast right now, and we have 4 days before the low gets below freezing. And then I think that's it. Then it gets colder and colder and colder. And then the window to ship beer to Montana has closed for the season. Unless you pay for like an insulated truck or something. I don't know how that works.
Well,
but
it's high.
So
it's high ABV beer. You should be okay.
Yeah. I mean, quickly the low gets down to like 17 next Wednesday. So.
Oh boy.
But So I appreciate you being expedient about the process. And, like I said, anybody who I trust in the state of Connecticut to ship me beer, it's Todd, because he's a practiced individual at shipping beer.
This is true. But anyways, how I got this beer was Obert wanted to drink some beer with me when he came to visit, or when he came to spend the night before he flew out the next morning. However, your boy Todd got after it that weekend and was way too hungover on Sunday to even think about drinking beer, which I did eventually succumb to Obert pressure, and I had 1 beer with Obert. And that was about all I was going to do. So Obert had put 2 beers in the fridge, I think for you and Allie, but you left one, and I didn't notice it when I was packing up your box, so now I have a Treehouse beer.
It's the very least I could do for you for packaging and mailing all my beer, so... This
is true. So, and I got some Huckleberry Jam, which is awesome. But anyways, I have Lights On by Treehouse. What this is, on top of it being Obert's beer, is an American Pale Ale. It's 5.3% ABV. It says in the back, we are excited that you are holding Treehouse Brewing Company's Pale Ale, Lights On. Lights On exhibits quintessential Treehouse character in a light package with notes of peach, mango, papaya, and citrus. It's a true joy to drink, a modern take on a classic Pale Ale. It is the result of our uncompromised dedication to fresh, progressive, and delightful beer. We hope you enjoy it with laughter, good cheer, and in the company of those you love. So...
Well, do we count? Is that how you're enjoying this beer?
I mean, this is kind of how we say, like, we are drinking alone with friends, correct? So, like, partly I'm drinking alone, but partly I'm drinking in good company. Kind of.
And laughing.
We do a lot of laughing. Not a lot of crying. We need to do more crying.
We got to get this podcast a little sadder.
Yeah.
Well, I'm still waiting for you to say those 3 magic words, too.
Oh, you want me to say I love you? I love you, Obert.
Well, it's brought me to tears.
So I poured it into this glass. It does look like your quintessential, New England IPA. You're not being seen by a T-Rex in this thing. You can hide. This kind of hides light more than some other, actual IPAs that we bring to this podcast. This thing is hazy AF, as the kids would say. The head retention's really well. I really do like this glass from Problem Solved. It's kind of beer can shaped. I do notice that it keeps the head really well with your beers. On the nose, tons of tropical fruits. I wouldn't say it was anything. I would say it's more tropical than citrus. Chris, if you know the difference.
I do. Very, very schooled on those flavors.
So let's dive in and drink this thing. Cheers.
Cheers.
So it's a good pale ale. Obviously we wouldn't expect anything less than from Treehouse, right? It's a solid representation of a pale ale. Lots of mango flavor to me. Some slight hints of citrus. I don't get any papaya, but citrus and papaya the citrus is kind of strong and the papaya is kind of weak, right? So citrus and mango is kind of strong, so it kind of overtakes that. Peach, maybe like a really like unripened peach, kind of brings out that flavor. Not like a juicy peach that you get in like the middle of summer where you bite into it and it's like dripping down your face. Not that type of peach. The type of peach that you think is going to be like that and you bite into it and it sucks. That's what that tastes like.
Disappointing peach.
Disappointing peach. That's a good statement for it. Solid beer. 5.3% ABV, so that falls within the crushable category for me.
It's definitely on the treehouse scale. That's crushable.
Yeah. And I believe that you said this is a friend of the pod, one of Ben's like favorite treehouse beers, right?
Yeah, I think he was the one who encouraged me to get an entire 4-pack. So
well, you're getting two of them because I know you drink one in my house and I'm drinking one now.
Yeah, I was happy to share that one with you.
What'd you think of it?
I was a little underwhelmed, but I had also earlier that day had some of like the crazy treehouse beers, like the Killer Julius Mango Ultra Triple Extreme Cream. So like I think my palate was all out of whack from having the most treehousey beers that treehouses.
Okay, at Treehouse.
Correct. Yeah, straight from the cow's udder there.
Straight from the tree.
Yeah, I was gonna say straight from the house.
The top half of the beer funnel was in the treehouse, and I was on the ground. If that makes sense. Yeah,
just funneling it. Yeah, okay, that does make sense. Good beer though. I mean, I'm not gonna say anything bad about it. But it is kind of your stereotypical pale ale. Like as Obert said, it's not. It does what it does well, but it doesn't do anything crazy. It's a great beer, not a crazy beer, I guess. If you were sitting outside in like 95-degree weather and somebody handed this to you, you'd be like, "Oh, okay, I like this beer." Now we
just need a ripe peach.
Yeah, now that it's November, it's kind of just a beer at the moment because it's not surrounded by nice weather. Although Connecticut has had some nice weather. Solid beer, solid representation. Not much more I can say about a pale ale. I'm going to say 4.0.
Okay, and that's on the Untapped scale. Is it different on the Treehouse scale?
Oh, it would definitely be lower on the Treehouse scale. If 1 was water at Treehouse and 10 was the best beer you've ever had, this would probably be like a 4.
Okay,
that's a good rating scale.
It's funny because Ben was the last one of my friends who checked this in because he bought some too. He checked it in 2 days ago, and his review was solid, but not quite as good as I remember. So, thanks a lot, Ben, for talking this beer up, making me buy so much of it. But okay. Do you want to hear how many people checked it in? Do you want to hear mine? Well, I can't tell you mine. I feel like I don't know if I can tell you mine until after you guess.
Yeah, I got to make a guess.
I don't want to skew you if you know what some of the average is, because 47,316 people have checked this beer in.
Wow, yeah, that's a lot.
And I was one of them. So if I tell you mine, you'll know a little bit of the average,
Yeah, correct. I mean, hot pipe is real, right? I mean, that's always a thing with Treehouse. So I think it's going to be slightly probably above a 4, but I don't think it's going to be way too high. So I'm going to 4.06.5.
Well, I appreciate you doing the Montana area code of 406.
I'm going to go 406.
The Obert guess. But no, Chris stays on the board, 423.
Wow.
So maybe we just got a bad batch. If Ben had said the same thing, I also gave
it's
it a
possible.
4, by the way.
I would like to say that if you go back through these 43,000, how many of them were like pre 2019? Because like
at least 2,000.
That's
of the 47,000.
Okay. Because I'm going to say, I think that it probably, like, I remember this being a good beer back in the day too, but I think that as beer has advanced, this just has, it's stayed the same, right? Kind of like the speckled hen.
Yeah.
Like, I think we talked about this, and like, at least when I went to Treehouse, it was very good. I think they've taken a step back for sure. Like, I some of their new beers, I was like, not really turned on to. Like, it wasn't like, they were good, but they were like almost too experimental at that point. Like, I don't know.
IPAs or the stouts, or like
IPAs,
something different? IPAs. Okay.
Yeah.
Did you have any of their stouts?
I don't know if I got a stout when I was there. I
think it was 97 degrees out when we
were
there.
Yeah. It was very hot. So yeah. So yes, all stouts. Oops, all stouts. But I don't know. It was just, I feel like maybe they've been a little bit worse IMO. But hey.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if they've gotten worse. I think everybody's caught up.
Right. again, we were talking a couple episodes ago about our dream flight. Like, I would love to see, a Julius from day one treehouse, year one treehouse, year 5 treehouse, and now, and see if they all tasted the same. But sadly, we don't have the technology. Maybe when we invent the time machine, I know what we'll do.
If we do end up finding the time machine, we'll come back to this very moment right now. Damn.
Darn it.
Oh, what's that noise over there?
No Julius fight for us.
Just my cat.
Yeah.
No, yeah, it's a good beer. I will say that Treehouse's stouts still stand up. I think some of their IPAs still stand up too, but I also do think that sometimes they try to do too much. In their new IPAs. And I think that just proves that like they've reached, I think we've reached like the end of like what IPAs can be done.
The critical limit of what you can put in an IPA.
What can be done?
That's funny.
I agree with the stout statement. Every time I go, and maybe it's just because it's, again, really fresh, but I'm amazed at how well they balance some of these stouts that I think if anyone else were to try and do it would be way too sweet, that they are able to get these like really specific sugary flavors like an Oreo or a brownie or whatever into their double shot and it still be complex and rich, but not overpowering.
Agreed.
I think they are really good at that. And I don't know if it would be as good in a bottle, but I didn't find out. I was like, I don't want to have ship any more bottles home than I have to. So
yeah, I'm not a glass engineer or a glassonier, but I think you're at the critical mass of glass in your package.
Meaning one.
Correct.
Oh, all right. Well, I'm ready to crack one open.
All right.
Should I go for it?
Do it.
Sure.
So I'm excited to bring a brewery on the podcast I don't believe we've had before. I think I've talked about them, but maybe next episode. Who knows? But last time I went, I don't believe these guys were canning or bottling anything yet. And the brewery is called Odd Pitch. You can see their psychedelic can here. This is definitely a Tud, can art for Tud for sure. This is, again, Odd Pitch Brewery. It is their camp horror. Looks like there's a strange man with a paper bag on his head holding a shovel menacingly. And the name of the beer is Bad Acid.
Ooh.
As the name Odd Pitch implies, these guys are all sour stuff, like barrel fermented brewery. So I think it took them a while to get stuff going because of how much they were doing in barrels. This is sour ale with orange and pink guava, brewed at Odd Pitch Brewing in Missoula, Montana, in collaboration with the Camp Horror Film Festival. So definitely, I think, a Tud Film Festival more than a Obert Film Festival or a Chris Film Festival.
I mean, I would definitely try to go to that for sure.
But yeah, so I don't think I've checked this one. I definitely don't think I've checked this in because it doesn't sound like it's part of their normal rotation. But this is, I think, my first can from them ever. So, I should not have opened this here. Exploded a little bit, as a sour likes to do sometimes. It's kind of weird. I cracked it open and it didn't explode, but there's definitely more beer. Like the level of beer is outside of the can at this point. It's very strange.
That's good. You got more beer.
I guess so. I don't know how they fit so much in there.
They use a plunger.
Maybe it's just, Missoula's at a lower elevation or something. Different air pressure.
Is that a thing? If I canned a beer in Louisiana below sea level and then brought it to where you live, it would do the same thing? I'm sure it would do it more, right?
I guess so. I don't know. Beers being incompressible and all, I think it changes the math a little bit. But actually, pouring it looks a little bit like Chris's or like Tud's beer did. But I think a little bit more on the straw side than on the hazy side.
You're definitely not seeing the T-Rex through it.
You're safe. You're safe from the T-Rex. You're safe from the Velociraptor too, I think it's fair to say. On the nose, let's see if we get any of that orange guava. Okay, disclaimer, I do have a cold. I'm like, it doesn't smell like much. I wonder why. No, I'm not getting a ton of aroma though. I think even if it was... there was any, I think it would have gotten a little bit more. So it seems pretty muted, but let's dig in. Cheers, guys.
Cheers.
Okay. First sip, I approve. Sometimes you get those sours that you just give you that too much of that pucker. You just like lean back from the microphone and squint your eyes and it's just too much. It's good. Okay, what are some takeaways here? Pretty basic. Not quite as boring, I think, as the speckled hen, but pink guava sounds like such an exotic fruit. I've never eaten a guava. I might have had a guava smoothie. I've never seen a pink guava, but I don't know. I think orange comes through. Definitely tastes like kind of like orange juice with a little bit of that sour ale bite as well. Solid sour. Not anything too crazy. I definitely had much more complex stuff from Odd Pitch when I went there in person, and it might go to the fact that when I go to a tap room and there's a dozen beers on tap, I normally go for like the craziest one at this point, because how many beers have we all had? I want something that I'm gonna love, I'm gonna hate. It's something different, Meanwhile, Odd Pitch, this is the only can of them I've ever seen, and this was in the bottle shop. So it doesn't seem like they can a ton. They're probably gonna can the one that they think appeals to the most people, So that's different than what I'm looking for normally when I go to a brewery. So safer on the side than adventurous, but that's not always a bad thing. It sounds like we were all three of us were on the safer side of our beers. Solid sour. I mean, nothing. I can't tease anything out that I would change that is like a negative.
Is it too cold or no?
No. Again, I do have a cold, so I'm sure that's muting the flavors a little bit, but this is pretty run-of-the-mill sour. I don't know what, I get some grapefruit vibes, a little bit of that strong citrusy bite that you normally get associated with a sour, but very effervescent, very bubbly, just a solid C+ sour, that's B-. B-, I feel like.
Boring
C+
minus.
implies, yeah. C+ implies that, you fucked up. B- implies you just didn't do anything extra, So that being said, I think I'm with Chris on this. It's only going to get a 3. I think Odd Pitch is capable of doing better stuff, and I want to go back there, get some of their better beers, maybe in a growler to take home, because again, we do that in Montana, and play some pinball, because they have excellent pinball selection last time I went in. It was one of those, like, you go a place, they got some good machines. You're like, oh, these people know what they're doing.
A good game of pinball is fun.
It is.
Dead Language had a Foo Fighters pinball game last time I was in there. It was new.
Oh, very cool.
They're part of some program where they get to swap out the game every now and then. So it wasn't there the first time I went there, but the last time it was there. So I was like, oh, I wonder what will be here next time. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I think that more places are doing that where it's on like a rotation basis. I was actually, one of my coworkers has, I don't want to call it a hobby because it's more of like a part-time job for him, but he owns and maintains pinball machines and like services them at different businesses or whatever. And he said, especially with, we have a lot of the 1% here in Whitefish. He said he has a lot of clients who are just like private individuals who, instead of buying a pinball machine, just like rent one from him for a couple months. And
that's pretty cool.
He just sets it up as like free play, and they just have it in their house for a few months. I'm like, oh, that seems kind of fun. If I had a mansion, I'd put a pinball machine in it. That's what I did in The Sims.
I mean, curiously, how much does it cost to rent a pinball machine for a couple months?
I don't know. That's a good question for Google.
You never asked him how much he charges to have a pinball machine?
I mean, we're not. He's kind of like a boss of mine, and I feel like I didn't want to talk money at where we were. I was like, this seems a little too personal. But
see, I think I would have instantly asked, because what if it was like $200 a month, and like you could have a pinball machine in your house right now? Like on the off chance that it's not $10,000 a month.
Yeah, it seems like $300 a month is,
That's not the 1%. That's Obert%. Obert.
I could do it if I really wanted to, and then just get really good. You know what? That's the key, is to like get all the money back by like sharking people at pinball. Like go to a bar and be like, oh, you want to play pinball? Like we'll put $20 on it, or whatever, right. And then just crush them with the daily practice that I got.
Correct.
At home.
I think it'd be cool. I would love, like, if I had a pinball machine in my office right now. I don't even know if I'd be recording this podcast. I think I'd be playing pinball.
We're gonna make that a Patreon tier. If you donate us $300 a month, one of us will get a pinball machine.
Correct.
Okay, so 3 from me. What's the count at here? For this bad acid from Odd Pitch?
Oh man, we all had really high check-in beers today.
Yeah, somehow I think mine might be the lowest.
What do you think the other 16 ratings?
Okay, enough for Untapped to give you an average.
I have an average, yeah.
I think people are going to think like I am, which is like, they know if you're one of the 16 people, you know Odd Pit can do better stuff.
Listen,
I don't think it's going to be that high.
Talking to the 1/16ers out there.
Right, yeah. I'm going to say 388 for Chris's birthday.
That's close. I had to do math in my head to see if I escaped with a point. You were close. 3.77.
Okay.
So,
okay.
I was surprised you
split the difference between you guys, between the two.
Yeah.
Of you, but
yeah,
not close enough.
Yeah. You went way higher than I thought. You were like you gave
I
it
thought
a 3.
you were gonna go.
I thought you were gonna go like 3.25 or something.
Yeah. I mean, again, I guess I should have gone a little lower.
I mean, you were closer than what I thought. So yeah.
At this point, I think everything that gets under a 4.0 average sucks, and everything above a 4.0 is good.
Yeah. Oh man, but yeah.
Chris, honk, honk, honk.
Thanks.
Congratulations,
Woo,
man.
I did it. Hooray.
Official
board.
Official breadhead.
Official breadhead. Huzzah. I did it.
43.
43rd point on the board for Chris.
Yeah.
Do you have like an acceptance speech ready? Or were you just like honestly not expecting to win?
Yeah, it's really unexpected. That's all I got.
You had a long time to think about it.
You don't want to thank anyone who, might have made this win possible?
I thank my big brain for being so good at beer.
Not even going to thank that guy at the Packy who sold you the beer.
Oh, no. I guess shout out to my old coworker.
You can lead a horse to water, but you can't force him to drink.
I know.
But, yeah, thank you for my point, Rob.
There we go. Is this like technically our Thanksgiving episode? Does the next episode come out? This episode comes out the 21st, right? So we won't see you all until we're full on in the Christmas season again.
Oh, yeah.
Final reminder about your pumpkin beers. Clock's ticking, folks.
Yep. Get them out.
Get those. You still got like 10 days. We're not, but if you got 10 left, that's one a day. You better get cracking unless you're planning on handing them out at the Thanksgiving dinner table.
Ooh, maybe.
Funnily enough, Ober, is that, despite me or with me being unable to drink when you were at my house, I still have, as of this recording, that pumpkin beer from Little House too.
See, I think you got to start a notes in your phone. I don't know if you guys keep random stuff there, but I think you got to start a note, Tud, where it's like, next time Obert is at my house, I want him to drink these beers, because we got there and it was like, oh, well, what do you want to drink? It was overwhelming. But I think that's a prime example of one where we would have been like, yeah, definitely, I need to have this. I need to have this blood red pizza beer. Raspberry pizza beer.
No, the raspberry pizza beer is gone. This would be the pumpkin beer, the pumpkin porter.
Okay.
That's, yeah. I think next time you come over, like, you need to like make a note to me. Don't get too drunk at somebody's wedding before I come over your house to drink on a random Sunday.
Listen, you knew what was happening. Like there's no excuses here. Like you knew the whole time I was coming over your house Sunday night, and
but you knew I was going to drink at a wedding.
Knew that there was. Listen,
it's really on you.
I was drinking at that wedding too. I did respect you enough though to not text you what you wanted me to get you from Treehouse, because we both know that you have a beer buying problem.
Oh no, you did.
You buy too much of it.
You texted me.
Oh, I did.
And you said, "What do you want?" And I said, "I'm good." If you recall, I think Chris was in this conversation.
Maybe I was asking Chris. I don't know.
It's true, Chris. You never responded. You could have responded with what you wanted. You missed.
Yeah, apparently I missed out on this. I don't know. I don't remember this conversation. I don't remember Are you sure it was to our text? I don't know.
Yeah, and in true Obert fashion, you also called me to ask me what I wanted, but I was showering. You have a really good habit of calling me when I'm showering.
Yeah.
How's he supposed to watch YouTube, Obert?
I know. I'm interrupting that video.
He did not text me and Chris. He just texted me 1:15 p.m. Do you want anything? So good friend. He tried.
I did try. Okay. Well, anyway, I think with that, it's time to go to the Frosty mug for the last time in the month of November to fill it up with handles and shit. So with that, Jordan, take it away.
Test your handle. Test your handle. Test your handle.
Mug of Wisdom!
Drink.
Mug of Wisdom!
Okay, thank you, Jordan. Good friend. Can be heard nowhere else but here. Chris, again, honks for you.
Yay.
Honk, honk. You are our victor. You win. Lifetime supply of Willy Wonka chocolate. And also, you get the Frosty mug with 3 handles on it.
It's kind of a good prize. I didn't realize you got a whole lifetime supply of chocolate this week.
Oh, yeah. This is the... you didn't know that 257 is the golden ticket episode?
Chris, that seems like a lot of chocolate. Well, if you want to share any...
We hit a golden ticket. We hit a golden ticket somewhere within the first 1,000 episodes, and it happened to be this one. So.
Good job, buddy.
Thanks. I appreciate it. I'm going to go drink from the river and eat the blueberry. I'm going to be a blueberry, and it's been a long time since I've seen the movie. So, and all the other...
Going to a television.
Going to a television. Yep. Okay, that's right. They'll have to stretch me out, and then...
be a bad egg?
Yes, be a bad egg. And then eventually win at the same time. So.
You got to float.
Blast off in a glass elevator.
Yes.
You do have to float and
almost
fart
die.
your way back down?
Fart,
Is that how that works?
Fart your way back down, yep.
I think they burped, but yeah, either one works.
Yeah, I think that's right.
It's releasing gas either way.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. I only wanted to correct you before the people got in the comments, and you know what I mean?
I will say, and not, I'm going to go off on a rant here. I will still always go down as Grandpa Joe is the laziest bastard in the world.
Yeah.
I think you're not going to get any argument from anyone on this call or anyone listening to this call.
Over at the day of Dodson's wedding, before the wedding, Caitlin was watching that in the hotel room. And I went on she had never heard that rant before from me. And she was like, I didn't realize you had such strong feelings on Grandpa Joe being a piece of shit. And I was like, oh, I can keep on going. But yeah, Grandpa Joe, real big piece of shit.
Yeah, maybe you should change your online handle to Grandpa Joe Hater.
Fuck Grandpa Joe.
Yeah, there you go. Okay, so who's handling this mug first, Chris?
I'll let Tud go. Why not?
Sure. I've actually got a game that just on Steam that just came out that both you guys are going to love. It is exactly up your guys' alleys. I've been so excited for it because I played the demo a bunch of times. And I feel like it's exactly what I wanted or what I want Stardew Valley to be. And it's called Mirthwood. Have you guys heard of this? Yay?
I'm not.
Nay?
No.
Okay. So, picture Stardew Valley, where you got a farm. Same idea. You get a farm here, except for there's a little bit more questing involved as well. There's swords and hunting and caves and bandits and stuff like that to deal with that I don't remember ever seeing. Maybe Stardew has all this now, because I think I played Stardew 10 years ago and then was kind of like, oh, it's Harvest Moon with some level of mining. But Mirthwood is a little bit more combat focused with elements of Harvest Moon, like planting things and redoing your house and building relationships with the town and going on quests. It's really cool. It's got a cool graphic view too. It's a little bit more Paper Mario-esque than Stardew Valley, which is a little bit more sprightly, I guess, is how I would describe Stardew Valley's graphics. So I like that graphic as well more than Stardew Valley's. But so far, it came out this past weekend. I played it the entire weekend. I big fan. It's $25 on Steam. It just came out of early access. It has a demo. In case you want to play the demo, you can play 5 days for free. It's got a whole time system, same as Stardew Valley, all that stuff. You have to sleep, you have to eat, so you don't pass out and die. Good game. Highly recommend it, especially if you're a fan like Chris is of Stardew Valley, or Ober. I think you were a fan of Stardew Valley too. But yeah, check that out.
Okay. Yeah, I feel like Stardew's 20% combat, 50% farming. This sounds like it's maybe 50% combat, 25% farming.
It's definitely, yeah, I would say it's so far roughly 50-50.
Cool. I will definitely check it out. I'll definitely at least play the demo.
Yeah, it's worth it. Check it out. Go look it up on Steam. It's probably elsewhere, but Steam is where I saw it, where I played the demo, where it was on early access. Go check it out. And it's by V Publishing, which I think Ober is the same people who did like V Rising and Anthem or not Anthem, Valheim and all those people. So
Oh, cool.
Oh, very neat.
Nice.
So who's drinking next
Obert?
or handling next?
Over, you wanna handle?
Yeah, I'll keep the video game trend going because I just plunked a bunch of hours down into the new Zelda game. I believe it's called Echoes of Wisdom. Quick description. I mean, I realize the older I get, the more that like I just play Zelda, and that's pretty much it. Like I was looking at my titles of my Switch, and at this point, like half of them are Zelda games, and there's only 3 games for the Switch. But the quick concept of this game is that this time you play as Zelda. And instead of wandering around with a sword and a shield, you have a magic rod that lets you copy and paste. You basically can copy bad guys. You can copy objects like crates and pots and beds to rest in and trampolines to jump on. And it's like, what if you had a normal Zelda game, but you couldn't really swing a sword, except if you can sometimes. And I described it as it does a really good job of combining the dungeon crawly top-down aspects of A Link to the Past with some of the more open, free-form puzzle solving of the newer Switch games like Breath of the Wild and A Link to the Past. It's a much shorter Zelda game than those last 2 I mentioned. I think like I'm 30 hours in and I'm pretty close to 100%ing the game. So, if you're someone who loved those old school Zelda games, maybe bounced off of the new Zelda games, I would say check this one out. And Chris was telling me earlier that it's already discounted. So you might be able to get it for, $45 or something, $50. I don't know.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, I was able to get it on Woot a little bit ago, so it might be there, might still be there.
I think I got mine for a discount too, but
How much did you get it for on Woot?
$45.
Okay.
Yeah.
I almost bought it at Costco the other day for like $52 or whatever it was. Maybe it was $49. It was cheaper than whatever its retail price was.
Gotcha. Cool.
But yeah, check out the trailer in the show notes. Okay, Chris, mug is yours.
Oh, I got one. You guys get ready. Pokemon handle. Pokemon released a new mobile game that is pretty fun, and it's called PokemonTCG Pocket. And basically what it is, it's just an app. Well, it's a game where you can open packs of Pokemon cards and collect them, build decks and battle against people like there's like some preset decks that you can battle against, and then you can also battle people in the world and things of that nature. So couple cool things is like, number one, the art and some of the detail they put into some of these cards, and they have like special cards, like these immersive art cards where you can like kind of go into the card and like it shows a little scene. It's pretty cool. Like, my kids enjoy it, I enjoy it. And it makes battling, because TCG games can be super overwhelming for people, like, learning all the rules and all that stuff. This is a very easy, I say dumbed down, but in the best way, dumbed down version of like playing a TCG. Makes it super easy. There's even an auto, sometimes not against people, but when you're doing like the preset decks, you can do auto battle, which is great because CJ can play and really enjoys it. It's really fun. You get to you can play completely free if that's your MO. Which I suggest. You can open 2 free packs a day, plus do all you can basically battle as much as you want. But it's been a lot of fun. My family's been playing it, and like basically everybody in the Pokemon community's been playing it, and it's pretty cool. If you like TCGs, and you want or if you've been interested in like maybe trying to learn some TCG stuff, like it's like a really good intro to TCG without you having to sit down and like sort cards.
What does TCG stand for?
Trading card game. Sorry,
Chris, you gotta forgive Chris. He learned 1,000 acronyms today,
I did learn 1,000 acronyms today. I'm surprised you didn't know that one. But it's really cool. I've been really enjoying it. So if you like Pokemon and you are interested in trading card games, you should definitely check it out. PokemonTCG Pocket.
All the fun of a trading card game simulator where you run and
I didn't even realize that was my last two handles. This is the second part.
But this time we actually play.
Yeah, this time you actually play the game and not sell the game.
Yeah.
I should ask, how is your store doing? Is it still running?
It's funny you mentioned Stardew because Ober and I were talking. I am fully immersed in Stardew again.
So I think you really should look at this Mirthwood game because I think you're gonna love it.
I added it to my wish list. So if it goes on sale or something, I'll get a thing. But right now, I'm Stardewing it up.
So with that, we'd like to thank you all for listening. I'd like to thank the brewers who provided today's beers. I will thank Treehouse and Obert for leaving it in my fridge, but their beer lights on. I
would like to thank Rob from work telling me about the Old Speckled Hen. Wait, hold on. Which is from Moreland Artistry and Brewing? Oh, I didn't say the name of the thing earlier.
I just love the surprised read of that.
Moreland Brewing.
Oh, somebody brewed this beer.
Yeah, I realize now that I did not read who the brewery was.
From England?
England?
Is that a country?
I'll thank Odd Pitch Brewing for their bad acid.
Please make sure you head over to social media and follow us everywhere at DAWF Podcast. Also, make sure you follow the email at dawfpodcast@gmail.com. You can go over to Patreon and for as little as $1 a month. $1 or £1 if you're in England listening to this because somebody reviewed an English beer here. You could support the podcast. You get slightly little, bonus episodes, half-hour long, called the pregame. Also, if you want to donate us $300 a month, one of us will rent the pinball machine, and we will describe our pinball experience here on the podcast, and maybe even make a video of us playing the pinball machine. So,
if you get $300 a month to give you I'm going to invite you over. You can come over and play the pinball machine.
That's true. Yes, whoever gives us $300, you can come over to the closest person's house to play pinball with them. Because that'll be
it doesn't. I don't judge. Wherever you want to go, you're the one who's got $300 a month to spend on.
Yeah,
this
wherever
podcast.
you want the pinball machine to be, we will put it there. If you don't want to do that, but you're listening to the sound of my beautiful voice, open up your phone right now, give us a 5-star rating and a review on whatever app you're listening to us on. Even if it's a short little review, that'd be great. And if you're too lazy to do that, well, thank you for listening anyways. And make sure you tell your friends and your family about it because that's awesome too. And with that, my name's Tut.
My name's Chris.
And I'm Obert. And remember, if you're drinking alone, do it with friends. You take the turkey out of the freezer yet, Todd?
No. Did I ever tell you guys how I'm doing it?
What's in your turkey this year? What's on your turkey this year?
So I'm going to smoke it for 3 hours, and then to finish the cook, I'm going to put it in peanut oil, and I'm going to deep fry it.
Ooh, sounds yummy.
Yeah, so it should
You'll have to give us a full review on the next episode.
It should crisp the skin really, really nicely. I'll try to remember to take a picture of it for you, too, so you can see it.
Okay.
Nice.
Hopefully...
happy Thanksgiving, everybody.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Hopefully it doesn't break and splash oil everywhere.